Many thanks for choosing us. One person attack which occurred at about 4 p.m. Wednesday, according to eyewitnesses, was carried out by 4 armed men on motorbikes. The victim, identified as a local security guard, was returning home from work when he was shot by robbers. He was rushed to the Baptist Medical Center in a very critical conditions. Elias Otanko has more.
According to eyewitnesses, the 4 suspected robbers on motorbikes arrived at this shop at about 4 p.m. The shops are popular in the town for selling at all approaching vehicles, while the 2 others entered the shops to rob. Several people who were at the shops at the time of the attack said they were made to lie face down at gunpoint. They said the entire operation lasted close to an hour as the robbers blocked up. The individual who was shot by the robbers has been identified as a local security guard who was on his way home from work. Reports say he was shot at the upper part of his body and his fate is still unclear as he was rushed to the Baptist Medical Center in a critical condition. To this woman, Aisha Salifu. His 14-year-old son was in the shop when the robbers attacked. The boy was too traumatized to talk, as he claimed the robbers assaulted him and threatened to cut his throat.
The
My son was in the shop with his little sister. My son came in telling me armed robbers have attacked the shop. I became scared. I even sweated. I only became relieved when I got to know my son was not hurt because I heard a gunshot. I'm surprised looking at the time they carried out the regional police commander, Mr. Moses Ali, and his men were at the scene, but the robbers were long gone before their arrival. He declined to comment, saying an investigation was underway. Reporting for Joy News, Elias Otanko, Nalerugu.
Condition of the person who was shot.
Unfortunately, Aisha, we have gotten a report that this person has passed on. He has succumbed to the wounds that he suffered during this particular attack. And so, as I speak now, the person... Well, it's still a very fluid situation. As I speak to you now, the regional House of Chiefs is currently in a meeting, and this has been one of the top agendas. The Overlord himself has made a strong comment on this particular incident. He has roundly condemned this particular incident, and he's asking the security to go after this. But recently in the region, there have been several robbery attacks, especially in the West Mamprisi municipality, where we have recorded at least 5 robbery attacks since this particular year. And so we need to do more to counter these criminals.
And what has the police been doing since the attack?
Well, the police themselves have been making calls for their men and for them to be retooled. For instance, in the Wale area, the police do not have vehicle to patrol, hasn't been replaced. And also, they have also complained about lack of staff. And so the police are saying that they will need resources and staff to be able to deal with this particular issue.
So this person that is dead, how is the family reacting to the news? Have you reached out to them?
One of the relatives crying from the house, and the house to where the incident happened is a bit far away. So we saw this person crying all the way from the house to the scene and subsequently to the Baptist Medical Center where he was rushed to. And so as I speak to you now, there's mourning, and because of the conservative nature of the queue now, people continue to trunk to the family house to show their support and to mourn with them.
Elias Otanko is our man in the Northeast region. We'll be bringing you more on the story. Now, the rise in fuel prices has left you on credit. In today's episode on Living Standard series, Love FM's Emmanuel Bright Kweku engaged one of such commercial drivers and his mate on how they are coping.
I'm using all our money to buy fuel. Me free fuel and the
The increased value of fuel on the market adversely affects people's livelihoods. Anoche is among some drivers buying fuel on credit.
Sisi me chufu eni na manasa ama anopei me se me kwaku madam fu ba ko ba me wo se ono kan le fu e se me se oni fu e wo de kan na me se me kra no me kwaku free fu e na de egum.
My fuel is finished. A friend told me this morning I can visit a fuel station to buy on credit.
Me free me bi na o mo de kakra bi ato so se de be ya 5 cedis me de tia na me de 5 cedis na ya de aka unti fu e semno de haye papa
emunyo 15 nkodidi na na de enye
are ze unika
ni mo ese be ka se o
onye ska na de ka ye ade wasa
ese fu are kra jiska
like that but it's a rating
ni na ko she fu ani
oh by jima you see this all of these things sometimes you cannot eat twice.
That is Asari, also a commercial driver, whose friend just requested some cash from him for food. His vehicle now consumes more fuel than his body does. Asari says the increased prices have
Don't buy them all. You're going to take breakfast, lunch, and then the supper. It's being very difficult for us. It's very. Yes. You need to skip lunch so that sometimes you provide for those who also need. Yes. Yeah. You will be even feeling you've getting some small porridge inside. So that one you will be feeling okay. So maybe when you get to like in the afternoon, like from 11, 12, going at that time, you feel very tired because there is no food in the stomach. You get it, and you need to wait maybe from 3, 4 days before you can get something to eat so that you can take it for tomorrow, becoming empty. Because
Asari plans to quit the job he loves and feeds him.
you work and you won't get anything. Now we are working. It's look like we are working for the car owners and then government, because the fuel prices is for those. So we work and you use the money to go and buy fuel. You work and you go and pay car owner, and that is all. What are you earning? So something like we are just working on it, because we can't stay here and all the time using all our money to buy fuel. I want to just get more, I think, knowledge on both of that.
The 33-year-old says he's of age to get married, but he cannot afford a wedding ring.
I'm going to get money to mobilize money to get family, and then I'm going to even give birth so that my kids will come and take care of me. At my age, I'm not a small boy.
Priscilla, a senior high school graduate, worked as a teacher before venturing the transport business. She earned more in the past, but not now.
Times in a day?
Okay, 8 times.
8 times in a day?
Yeah.
But before, how much did you get? From the 8 trips you were going, how much were you getting?
Almost 80 cedis, 70 cedis. But now, because of the fuel, we don't earn anything. We only get 10 cedis, 10 cedis.
Angela's situation is no different.
We now pay more at the fuel stations. We don't get enough commission nowadays.
When their masters do not earn enough, these mates are disadvantaged in earning extra.
Our masters aren't getting enough now, so we can't even take extra cash.
Made business that we do, money's the inside. But right there is now the Charlie. You know they move us quite. See, you can finish work for a day, can get like 80 cedis. Me, I calculate a week, A week, if I calculate say every day, I can get like 700 cedis. But as I check right there, now you go get 30 cedis. Like you know if you make budget for yourself.
When next you join a public transport and see a trotro mate aggressively demanding the additional coins from you, the reason may not be far-fetched.
Us with the latest. Kofi, what have you found at the pumps? Hello?
Hi.
Yes, Brace. You are at the pumps to check out what is happening there. What can you report from there?
Well, Aisha, what I can say is that, like we've all heard, fuel prices are up. This morning, we also, as of now, what I've seen is that Goil is selling super for 9.60. Diesel is selling at 9.90 at Goil. Now, at the Shell filling station earlier, we saw that they were selling diesel for 9.999 and super for 9.70. It looks like it doesn't match to what they see when they buy the fuel. We tried speaking to the people at the station to get some understanding, but we weren't granted that opportunity. Now, we've tried speaking to some Ghanaians who have. A driver told us that all he's been doing recently is to beg the car owner because he cannot make the required sales because of fuel increment. He says, now I'm currently with someone who is into motorbike. He's been complaining that because of the fuel increment, he's not even able to live on a easier. I can have a short interaction with him, sir. Thank you very much and welcome to Joy News. You have been complaining that
sometimes you see me like that I do motor business and sometimes to car. So a day you can still buy petrol. If you buy 20 cedi, no go reach you. Because sometimes even this morning I can buy 80 Ghana. Right now to 10 cedi, you make how much? 90 Ghana. If I won't go out, I'll buy petrol about 100 Ghana. You see a day, how much? Even this morning, the price raise up. The price raise up. So, Charlie, it's too much. It's too much.
And I saw him now. We spoke to a boat driver a short while ago, and he was telling us that to him, he thinks they have to park their cars and have a huge demonstration to send them in now. So it's quite a very not pleasant situation in town, Aisha.
Samuel Kojo Brace is a man checking out what is happening out there at the pump. Will be arrested. That's according to the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and Regional Integration, which has given assurances that it will do all it can to restore diplomatic relations with Bulgaria. The Chancery of the Vienna Convention on Diplomatic Immunity, Ghana has defaulted on its duty to protect a diplomatic mission of sending state. Already, the minority in parliament is attacked in recent years. Deputy Foreign Minister Kwekwampre Trim Sapon at a press briefing Wednesday confirmed that the property
belongs to the Bulgarians. So if anybody goes in there, that person is a trespasser. That is how I see this person, the land, unencumbered. But the unfortunate thing is, it looks like our friends, the Bulgarians, were not able to police it. So the trespasser managed to get back onto the land. And that is where we renege on its obligations to the Bulgarians. It's been something that has been on the table day in, day out. I met with the Bulgarian ambassador. He came all the way from Abuja. We had a meeting. And he wanted me to facilitate a meeting with the. And every time I asked him, the ambassador wants us to have a meeting, he would say, "Oh, my lawyer is not available. When he's available, I'll get back to you." He's gone here, so he's playing some kind of some games. And what I'm seeing, accelerate the redevelopment work that he's doing on the land. We told the workers that they had to leave the site. Under the new Land Act, those workers there can be arrested.
On this right now, the National Media Commission says recent events that have sparked claims that freedom of expression is under attack must be looked at critically. And the last 2 months been slapped with charges for various comments they have made. Executive Secretary of the NMC, George Sapon, says such analysis has been speaking at the Ghana Institute of Journalism Forum on freedom of expression.
That links all these instances is the fact that each one of them has some kind of relationship with the police. And within the context of free expression, it needs to be looked at very differently. Forms hold somebody accountable for offensive expression. And then is completely unwarranted. Two things need to stand out in your mind. When you read the literature on the issues, it imposed material, do you try this person? But that is completely different from whether the material is actionable or not. Counter it. The question of whether or not the person has done something bad is completely different from where can you try the person. Do you see the point? What are the normative principles? Under what circumstances can you hold somebody responsible for offensive speech? In any case, what do offensive across time and space? And I pose that question because, as you all know, we have placed
Studies at GIJ, Dr. Ebuafol is meanwhile calling for changes to Ghana laws to take away the power to issue authorization lines. Let's move on to other stories. A circuit court in Cape Coast has ordered for the annulment of polling station elections conducted and accused the MP constituency executives of a fraudulent elections. Their aggrieved supporters challenged the elections in court, and on Thursday the court ordered for fresh elections to be conducted of the court on the streets of Cape Coast.
So these are, and the court has ruled that the earlier elections that were conducted in the constituency should be annulled. Fresh elections have to be organized so that they will be supervised by the regional party executive. Today, and justice has been served. They couldn't help themselves but to celebrate on the street of Cape Coast. And so here we are. Let's get some people to speak with.
We had, and for that matter, we had to go to court to seek to suffer justice from there. And this is what we've been fighting for over the time. And that's today, when we went to court, the court actually upheld our claims. And then for this reason, a fresh elections is to be conducted. And for that matter, the court also directed that the regional executive has to be there. TT side was seeking that the court should allow them and then withhold its ruling or decision. And then allow them to go and then continue with the happy. We are happy. So when they say our side is happy, yes, it is true. Our side is very happy.
So what should we expect to be done in the constituency in order for peace to prevail?
We are one party. This is not an MPP NDC thing. This is an MPP thing. And for that matter, we do not expect anything extra not to provoke the other side.
Yo, the entire Yeni say, a election na ye be na. Ya kwato ye forms na. Nanka ye mpini pese beto aba no no na hye no ho eyiyi executives no. Ya mpene na ye hwe enye ntia de bedane court. Na court eni posio mo abeguo. A omo na edin. Nso ye gina wa ma court e ka che ye nse. Se ne ye kɔ no, ontumi nka nche se aba no, waje atumi se eno ano no. Ye nsan kɔ. Ne what can you say? Na yantu ede say aba ye ba beto ye hwe ye mpese so ye MP na okọ bronu bi so na akwa koma we nsa so oso we wini okọ koma we so we wini de asam be dan court nti de be dan court no nti nya we ye ba ye nne no mubu asam de ma ye nti eni age ye si ye hu se bia ye to aba se da ye to aba se da ye ti ya no onenam himan kurase no to aba na aju to dan court na court so di asam ma ye nti ya anu asam ani nyame adi asam ma yo nyame adi ama yo se die bia o sa kwadi ni bia ma ye.
The demolition of the Bulgarian embassy, and joining us live is a Bulgarian ambassador, His Excellency Yanko Yoranov, the Bulgarian ambassador to Ghana, and the story up to the Supreme Court. And I know that the government of Ghana has been meeting you and the private developer over this. What was the outcome of the last meeting you had?
I've always been friends, and I believe that this issue could be settled and resolved in a friendly manner, amicably. But during the last couple of months, although we've that the issue is not resolved, there was a meeting between organized by the Ghana's Foreign Ministry, and there was present there the Bulgarian Honorary Consul. Let me emphasize clearly that Bulgaria has the right to be on its property. And we wouldn't discuss its access to our own property. So the outcome wasn't very satisfactory from this meeting, but we do appreciate the fact that the Ministry of Foreign Affairs has been really active on improving since Bulgaria has taken up some more visible approach and trying to settle this in a diplomatic manner. So we believe that while corrected by the government of Ghana as a host country, and Bulgaria does insist on the implementation of the Vienna Convention, we don't want anything outside the scope of this convention comes to the set of privileges and immunities that should be granted to a sending state that has an embassy in Accra. So definitely the issue will be resolved.
Now, how do you intend to actually deal with the situation? I mean, do you have other options of getting this resolved quickly?
Real diplomat, I see no other option than diplomacy that would work effectively. And when I say this, I mean that, of course, we can explore any other options within the legal toolbox. But we want to settle these duties for Ghana and Bulgaria to focus on a more positive agenda rather than to close down the gate for any dialogue. So for this reason, we are very constructive. We keep being constructive and to be in a constant dialogue with the Ministry of Foreign Affairs of Ghana, with all the competent authorities of Ghana. And we firmly believe that the diplomacy is the best way to settle and solve this. And we are very, very grateful to all institutions and all Ghanaians that are supporting us in this effort.
I'm grateful for your time. Ambassador Yoranov, he is the ambassador to Bulgaria and the Bulgarian embassy that has been demolished. And so to come in business, SSNIT worried over employees conniving with their employers to underdeclare salaries. We have details shortly in business.
Of the amount.
Hi, good afternoon. Welcome to Business. My name is Darryl Kwao. The Social Security and National Insurance Trust, SSNIT, has observed a worrying phenomenon of employees conniving with their employers to underdeclare salaries. This has resulted in low contribution towards a scheme with a corresponding meager benefit received on retirement. Director General Dr. John Ofori-Tenkran explains until the trend is reversed, many employees will live in poverty upon retirement. Here's more.
By law, 5.5% of employees' salary is deducted, in addition to 13% of the amount from the employer is paid as Social Security. Part of the amount is paid to SSNIT as the employee's retirement benefits. 60% of the highest income insured is paid to the employee on a monthly basis on retirement after a lump sum. Dr. Ofori-Tenkran explains any efforts to evade payment puts employees' future at risk.
Sometimes, because of miseducation, some people would connive with their employers and say that, okay, don't pay me my SSNIT because it's not deducted. and you think that you are getting something today, some additional income to spend today, not knowing that you are jeopardizing your future for that day. When that day comes, when you're unable to work, you are going to miss SNIT being there to pay for you for as long as you live. And of the highest incomes that you came to declare and insure with us for life. For life. This is not a 1 day or wonder or 1 month or 2 years or 3 years. For as long as you live.
Mitigating against contributions, SNIT, in collaboration with Ministry of Education, has introduced supplementary readers on Social Security for senior high schools. At the launch, Fojo explained the move will improve financial literacy among the population.
We want our learners, about 10 million of them in that category, from kindergarten, even to understand the essence of insurance and SNIT in particular, that in your active service, the contribution that you make to SNIT will be your savior when you're in old age and unable to work, or even in the unlikely event of incapacitations. And that is why we want our learners to get it and spread the good news.
All 16 regions have already received copies of the supplementary readers through the regional education offices.
Now, the Ghana Revenue Authority has described the implementation of the benchmark reversal policy from this month as successful so far. After a stakeholder meeting last month, government reduced the benchmark values on general goods from 50% to Martin Yamboriga, Assistant Commissioner, Large Taxpayer Office, says the reduction in benchmark values on general goods will aid the authority's quest to achieve its revenue target of 80 billion cedis. He spoke on
agitations. I think consultations were done, and then an agreement was reached between government and the various stakeholders that we should reduce the benchmark value for general goods from 30 to 10%. And I think because it was accepted by all the parties involved, the implementations have been very smooth. We have not had any issue as that we're going to reverse it. So now everybody seems to have accepted it and it's going on smoothly.
And Joy Business Social is coming up tonight across our social media platforms. We are going to discuss how Business Akpelo, who is Greater Accra Chairman of the AGI, as well as Sheriff Gali, CEO of Chamber of Young Entrepreneurs. That's 6 p.m. across.
Time now for sports. On Joy News today, I am Muftau Nabila Abdullahi. The acting Ashanti Regional Director of the National Sports Authority, Emmanuel Kojo-Appiah, has assured Ghanaians he used the Royal Sports Stadium for the Ghana vs Nigeria World Cup qualifier on March 25. FIFA and CAF moved the 2022 World Cup playoff first leg game to Kumasi after CAF sent inspectors to. However, the facility must meet 8 requirements outlined by CAF for the fixture. Emmanuel says the stadium will be in a better shape by the middle of next week.
NSA has always been on top of events and all the stakeholders. I think by the time the match is supposed to be played, everything will be in place. For the dressing rooms, we don't have issues there. We have the pitch, and the pitch, as you can see, we did a little bit of work on it yesterday and today. It was around 3.5. Tomorrow we will even put some more works on it, and then we apply our normal fertilizer just as we've been doing. So by next week, Tuesday, Wednesday, it should be ready. So by Friday, it should be excellent for the
stadium. And Nigeria Football Federation media officer Ayo Olu Obidapo has expressed his side's optimism towards the clash between Ghana and Nigeria, despite a change of venue for the first leg. The Blacks received complaints from Nigeria regarding the unfit condition of the stadium with less than 2 weeks to go. However, he insists it will not curtail the plans of the team as they intend to qualify to the FIFA World Cup.
Of course, the history dates to long time ago. And of course, the head-to-head, favors Ghana, but things have changed. It's not the same again. In the playoffs we're going to be having for the run-up to the 2022 Qatar World Cup. And I'm sure a lot of people are looking forward to this clash. It's going to be an interesting.
Ghana and Nigeria have shut down Africa, and all the other games have paled into insignificance. Because this is the game everybody is talking about. Do you get that feeling as well in Nigeria?
Of course, a lot of pundits just like they're very optimistic in Ghana, in Nigeria, in Abuja, Lagos, Port Harcourt, Kaduna, Kano. Everybody is very, very optimistic, especially with the kind of array of stars the Nigerian team parade. Ghana does not possess the superstars. Of course, you can't take it away from the lineup that we're going to be having from the Black Stars, and I don't want to take into consideration what panned out at the AFCON in Otto Addo. Of course, Chris Hughton leading the Ghanaian Black Stars. So, the Ghana Black Stars. So I know that it's going to be a different kettle of fish. We cannot weigh or measure Ghana with that particular performance at the Axeman for the Eagles. We didn't have him at the AFCON, but we're going to be having, 2019 AFCON top scorer back also for contention for starter shed, during Ghana. One team has to, qualify and represent the rest of Africa. At Qatar, I hope it will be the Eagles.
That's your sports for now, but we'll have more sports stories on myjoyonline.com. Up next is World News.
The showbiz here on Joy News today. Now, celebrated audio engineer and record producer Kwame Yeboah says the older generation of Ghanaian musicians do not one of the major problems the Ghanaian music industry is facing. He spoke to Andy Dusty on Daybreak Hits.
The only issue we have here is we don't get that, we don't want to come and hang out with the older guys. If you go to Jamaica, all the older guys, they pass on their thing. When a guy's in the booth recording, there's an older guy sitting outside checking him. Don't have anyone saying, I want to come and hang with you. I want to see what you can do. I want to pick up what you can do so I can learn it and get it further, because we are going to die at one point. So if everything I have in me gets in the grave, that would be